Ooh, welcome back everybody. We are ready to start on the next area, Old Yharnam. Go ahead and equip our torch. We're going to be using that for the majority of this area because most of the standard enemies in here kind of back away when in the presence of fire. So if you just keep your hunter torch out the whole time, it makes this easier. Inspect the note on the door and then you can open it. And immediately sprint straight ahead and you'll see a new enemy that immediately runs away from you. Try to catch him before he disappears. We got him. If that doesn't happen, if you miss it, I'll show you there's a way back up to here. And you just go back to Hunter's Dream and then come back here and try to chase this scurrying nightmare down. For those who have played Dark Souls, this is the crystal lizard equivalent of Bloodborne. They are completely harmless and they run away from you the minute they see you or you see them or whatever. And they will disappear quickly if you don't catch them in time, but if you kill them, they drop lovely upgrade materials. So I'm going to try to showcase where each and every one of these are. There are some instances where there's like 2 or 3 of them in the same area. And so the only way to get all of them is to reset the area 2 or 3 times. So we won't be getting every single one of them, but it'll be most. And if you're super lucky, you were able to corner it on this walkway here, this wooden ledge, and not have to chase it down on top of that roof. Most of the time I have to chase it down to the roof, and I miss this item, and I have to come back and get it. If you're lucky, and you landed here, get that item. If you didn't, then do this. You'll end up on this roof, or you completely missed the scurrying nightmare. Drop down onto this portion, and then on the left where the floor is broken, roof I guess, there's this wooden part. Drop down on that, and then we're going to drop down here. And on our left there's an enemy with his back turned, but don't be fooled, it's a trap. Because he's being guarded. Walk slowly with another enemy. Can we see it? On the left there, you can kind of see it moving on the other side of this column. So you can walk in and take care of this guy. That's on the right. These guys will increase your poison buildup if they strike you, so that's why we have the antidote equipped. And now we can kill this one, which you can sneak up on. I was just lazy. Because as you can see, they're pretty easy to take down. These are known as, I think, are these the hooded beast patients? I think is the distinction. There's 2 types of beast patients. Anyway, come back to where the first one was and grab the hunter torch. And let's go ahead and equip that instead of the regular torch. The hunter torch is slightly better in that it has better attack, better durability, better arcane scaling. Those are those letters down there at the bottom. Second row from the bottom in the middle. That's how many points each level is worth in its damage. And unlike the torch, you can upgrade the hunter's torch. Now we're not going to be doing any of that, so you don't have to bother switching if you don't want to, but I always do. Just because. Now come back the way you came, and at this little crumpled part of the railing, you can drop down onto that ledge. And then drop down one more time. Make sure you're heading back towards the building instead of away, because down there is death. This gate is locked. And then over here, got this wooden area that will lead to a ladder. Climb up here, there'll be another item at the top, I think. The very long ladder. There we go. And then drop down across from that item, and you're back up at the top where the scurrying nightmare first showed up. So if you missed the item down there, you can go back and get it, and then just drop down, and then come back around and climb up that ladder again. If you missed the beast, the nightmare altogether, you can reset at Hunter's Dream and try to come back. Or you can just ignore it entirely. I suggest you don't do that though. Those upgrade materials are really nice, especially this early in the game. And the reason why, even though there's a lot of items that aren't part of a platinum trophy, I always take my time to get, is because everything sells for blood echoes. So even if we're not going to use those bloodstone shards, come back and get them because you can always sell them. Anyway, moving on, you'll start to get talked to by another hunter. And as you walk forward, you should see... Is he coming? Yep. A normal beast patient heading across the bridge. You can just wait for him here. They're pretty easy. They're weak to serration because they count as beasts. And these are the guys that stand back with the fire. So if I put the torch away, they stop doing that. If I take the torch out, then they'll start backing away. So throughout all of Old Yharnam, I like to have my torch out. On the left, before you cross the bridge, is an item. Ooh. 6 whole blood vials. Now we're gonna go across the bridge, and those beast patients like to sit and wait inside of these little smoke plumes. And do that. They jump out at you. And they also like to gang up on you. So 2 are going to attack you from here, and then you can't really see them, but right in front of us there's one crouched down. When I get close, you'll see him look up. Yep, there he is. Take care of that guy. Come to the left. And in the back here, there's a hooded beast patient and an item. Now these guys are not scared by the fire. Probably because they can't see, maybe? I don't know. And there's that. And now we come back. And we go all the way around this building to the other side where there's one more item. All the way back here. And now we're going to come down here, and there are, I think it's 2 beast patients and 2 hooded ones. You are a skilled hunter. And more talking. While he's talking, you can take these guys out. Oop. Yeah, see, there's my slow poison buildup in the middle there, you see. If that gets to the top, then you get poisoned and you slowly start to lose health. And the poison gauge slowly decreases, and you will be consistently losing health until the poison gauge hits the bottom, or you can just use an antidote and it resets the whole thing. You may have noticed a 3rd beast patient coming up from the stairs over there on the other side of that strange statue. Those are the stairs we're going to head down, because I don't think there are any items around here. But a word of warning, as we're walking down the stairs, the man who has been talking to us, you can barely see it. But up there, on the top of that clock tower looking thing, is a mounted Gatling gun. He's going to start firing at us everywhere we go. So, once you hear him start talking again, go ahead and sprint on the narrow path, and you'll end up in a building where you are safe from his gunfire. So it's down here. And now go. Go, 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 go. Up, I'm stuck. Go, go, go. And on the left is a very large beast patient that you want to take care of. He has a lot more health. Yeah, you want to get here and immediately jut to fight that beast patient, because if you just stand here, I think he can hit you. Yep, see? And that gunfire deals a lot of damage, and it staggers you, and so he can just tear your health down to 0 quite quickly. This is the first really frustrating part of the whole game. Anyway, get whatever that was. I think it was antidote. I wasn't paying attention. Come out this little broken area. Broken door, window, whatever it is. Grab this. Come back through. And we're going to have a room with 2 beast patients and some explosive urns. I think they're filled with gunpowder. So the idea here, because there's a big broken wall that the gunman can shoot you from, is we're going to run in, get their attention, and then run back out. Yep, see? that exploded. And if you're lucky, it'll catch one or both of the beast patients in the explosion. If not, just stay here and shoot to them, or attack them. And then we're gonna run all the way to the very corner. You can see there's an item along the wall there. So just sprint, and if you've cleared out the barrels, you should be fine to the urns. But stand right here, yep, because there's more explosions. But if you stay right on the wall, you'll be safe. Grab that. And then our next destination is that wooden plank walkway on the other side. So we're going to sprint there and be very careful because it's very thin. Sprint across. And then sprint to the left here where there's a bunch of crows. And go ahead and clear them out as quickly as possible. So we can get that. Now run into this building. And on the left here, around the corner, are 2 sleeping beast patients. So go ahead and take care of them. And then if we walk forward, there's a door on our right that's going to get busted through by a large hooded beast patient. So just slowly let him come. He does this grab move. Just back away though and you'll be fine. Ooh, nice. He dropped a blood gem, and there's another one in the room he just escaped from. That's a blood-tinged gemstone, though. We're gonna never use that, because we're not a blood-tinged build. Instead, grab that item. And now there's different ways you can do this. There's a slew of beast patients all over the place, and you're in the line of sight of the Gatling gun. So what I honestly like to do is just run to the other side, and it pulls like 5 or 6 different enemies. And then immediately turn around and sprint back into the building. And then we'll fight all of the enemies here, just one at a time. See, they're all looking up. And now run back. This one's a little risky because you can get caught on your way back. Let's heal up. And when you're fighting multiple enemies like this too, it might be better to not even bother locking on. Because what they like to do is the enemy you've locked onto will dash and like hang in the back while the other enemies attack you in the front. And then you can never like get a really good swing in because you're locked onto the wrong person. And instead of trying to switch strategically back and forth, I'll just not lock on. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to take on 3 at a time, you can just run out, pull one of them, and then dash back in and attack. Like this. See, now I got their 2 attention. So I'm just gonna stay back here. Yeah, see, you can hear the gunfire. Now you're safe behind these trees. As long as you stay, like, close to them. And you're also safe at the edge of the building across here. Because I believe this is the clock tower itself that you're at the base of. And so he can't really get a good angle at you. He can't shoot straight down. So you're relatively safe right here. But the minute we step out to get that item, not only are we not safe from the Gatling gun anymore, but there's more beast patients. So 2 options. You can run and aggro them, and then you can either run back here into this corner to fight them, or you can run back into the building that we came from. I'm just gonna run up, get their attention, and run back. There's the gunfire. You do not want to go too far out from the building. Because that's how you get seen. Nice. And now we're gonna run and grab that item and run back to this little corner. Or run down that walkway on our left. Either way. Grab it. Run. Oh, he didn't see me. Alright, good. So now we can walk down this walkway. Somebody died. Oh no, it's our next fight is this guy right here. Oh, this was super lucky. Oh my goodness. You guys don't understand how lucky that just was. Okay, so let me explain. This is where we're gonna stay down here, because he'll never come past this staircase. That's why that was so lucky. He did a leaping attack, and he just so happened to do it like right at the edge of his little walk cycle, and it sent him over the edge of the stairs, and he'll never attack on down here. Yeah, see, he'll just start backpedaling, and you can wail on him. So this is where you want to fight this guy, because he's got a lot of health, as you can see. He can also heal himself. Just stay back here. He also hits for a ton. Man, we got really lucky. You also might want to consider switching back to your pistol, because you can parry this guy. But just stay down here, and eventually he'll, yep, do that. I wonder if I can just shoot him to death from here. Nope. The key is to not get greedy. And it's easily done. Just kind of try to bait him. You might have to get his attention. He drops some bone marrow ash, which I'll discuss later. I luckily also got his attention while coming down this walkway. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes you have to walk out here and get his attention. But just be very systematic and patient with him, because he can kill you. I made that look really easy. It's never been that easy for me. He can kill you really quickly. That gun of his does a lot of damage. So don't be afraid to try the same kind of tactics we did with Father Gascoigne. Just full firing your pistol almost the minute you see him move his blade weapon. He has the saw spear. And hopefully you'll gun parry him. Or the best thing to do is just stay down here. Try to bait him into that leaping attack, or bait him into swinging and falling off. And if you can get around him when he falls off, what you can actually do is you can stop him right here, and he'll constantly be trying to walk past you and never attack, and then you can just wail on him and he'll never get past you. I've done that like once before. It was awesome. Okay. With that done, you hear a lot of moaning. We're not gonna go that way yet. What we're gonna do is hop across this courtyard, and it's a little hard to explain, so make sure you watch, because you gotta do it quickly. There's a ledge you can leap off of, which is what we're gonna be doing to access a secret area with some items that are needed for the Platinum Trophy. But as soon as we step past a certain distance, we'll be within firing range of the Gatling gun up there. So we got to do it quickly. It is on our left, past that weeping statue way out in the back there, if you can see it. And there are some crows. Just don't worry about them, just ignore them. So you're going to sprint forward from the staircase, and then once you get past that statue, take a left, and then in that railing, we're going to drop down. So hopefully you got all that. And if you miss, that's fine. You'll drop down all the way to the ground here, which is where we want to go. You'll just take slightly more damage. If you did happen to land on this little brick area right here, you can drop down a little farther onto here. We can even drop down here and then drop down onto this brick. And we take no damage. And now we're safe from the gunman. Equip the torch, because this building is really dark and has a lot of beast patients in it. There's 3 hooded ones on the right, one of which is a large beast patient. So walk up and try to get his attention. And there's their attention. Again, we want to do this slowly, because there's a bunch more kind of patrolling the staircase in the back there. You can see one walking. So try to draw these ones back here. Ow. Let's see, I pulled one of them. There's the large one. Try to get its attention. I'll search all these corpses once everything is dead. Ow. See how much poison buildup that did? And there's another large one walking around. And then I think there's 3 regular beast patients. Now they'll just continuously walk up and down these stairs, so you might have to come and get their attention a little bit. Like so. I think I pulled another small one. Did I? No, I guess not. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start looting, but I'm gonna keep an eye out on things, because there's still, yep, there's one here. Just keep your eyes peeled for more enemies. I can't remember exactly how many there are. Because there's also some just static on the top of the stairs. Make sure you get the one item that's sitting over here, though. There's at least one item that's not dropped from the enemies. And then don't forget this treasure chest. And get that, and this. And now we'll work our way up, and there should be 2 to 3 more beast patients. Maybe there's a 4th one I missed. But the minute you get to this little cabinet thing, look to the right, and there is a rifle spear. That's one of the hunter weapons needed for the platinum trophy. That's the whole reason we came down here, or the main reason. There's also a good armor set here that we'll use for the whole game. And take care of them, and then, yep, on the left. So that should be all of them, yeah. Because this is the top of the stairs. Here's the charred hunter garb. That's our best fire resistance gear. Okay, and now for another hard part. Because the minute you step out of that window, this is how to get out of here, you're going to come under fire from the Gatling gun. And there's an item we want right at the base of the drop-off. And it's a drop, so you can't come back into the window. But if you can kind of see, there's also some beast patients. We're not going to worry about them. There's a staircase a little bit ahead of us and on the right, which leads back to that same courtyard where we just fought the hunter. And we're going to run directly, I think, to the left after we get on the top of that stairs. So if you just watch, it'll make sense. After grabbing this, we're going to do it all really quickly. So we're going to come out, drop down, search body. I'm not even going to hit X. I'm going to dodge past this guy, come up these stairs, run to the left, and now we're in the courtyard through the smoke, and then here's back at that staircase where we fought the hunter. And now we're safe. Keep an eye behind you because there's a chance that those 2 beast patients that we ran past are going to be following you. It does not look like that's the case this time. Although most of the times they chase you down. If they don't, then you're lucky. If they do, just take them out down here. Now, with all that done, this is the way forward, but there's a little secret shortcut up this ladder. Or it's not a shortcut, but it's kind of a back route. Come up here, and in actuality, on the left here is another ladder that leads up to the hunter who's been shooting us with that annoying Gatling gun this whole time. But we've got more to do with him much, much later, so ignore him for now, because we're actually past the Gatling gun part. He's not going to be able to hit us from anywhere else. And instead, drop down to the right. He'll take a little bit of damage, but that's okay. Be it slow, because there's an enemy right in front of you that you can sneak up on if you're quiet. Take care of him, goodbye. Step out here and you're in a big church where a lot of beast patients are praying. That's what that moaning is. And they're all surrounded around a particular area in the center that you can actually deal with by dropping the chandelier by hitting this little wooden thing in the corner here. So you come forward, you go right, you go no, left and then right, and then just hit this little wooden apparatus. It drops. Catches fire, kills like 3 or 4 things. Makes your job easier. Let's come down here and slowly walk through, and we're gonna get this item. And then actually come back the way you came, because you want to get it back on solid ground. I hate doing this. Oh, okay. And then, on this little broken area here, step back out. There's an item down there we're gonna get, but there's another item over there that we're gonna attempt to get right now. Now, a little footnote about this item. This is a purely cosmetic item. It cannot be sold. It doesn't help you, doesn't make you stronger, or anything like that. So feel completely free to skip this because it's a pain in the butt to get. But this being a 100% walkthrough, I'm going to showcase how to do it, just in case you want it. It's not needed for the platinum trophy or anything like that. what you have to do is you have to line yourself up, and we're going to sprint, believe it or not, on this thin railing, rafter thing. And if you looked at the very first episode at the instructions, at the tutorials, you can jump by, while you're sprinting, you quickly let up off the sprint button and hit it again, hit the dodge roll button. And if you do that from a sprint, you do a jump instead of a dodge roll. So we're going to do that, and we're going to jump to the right just as we hit the end of this rafter, and it's going to let us jump across that gap and land on that plank to get that item, in theory. Now this might take me a couple tries, so you might see a weird edit right here, but here we go. So let's run and jump to the right. Oh, and we just made it into the corner. So, if you don't make that jump, I'll show you what to do here in a second. If you did, first of all, congratulations. Let's get the Bloody Messenger head bandage, which lets us decorate our messengers. And then drop down back where you landed. Excuse me. And then you can either drop down this way or that way, it doesn't really matter. I like to drop down this way and work our way backwards, because that's what we're going to do anyway. And this is how you get back if you did not make that jump. You can just drop down here, and you deal with any of the enemies that are down here. Now there should be more on, depending on how many attempts you made. There might be more on my screen than there are on yours. If you did that jump the very first attempt, or you didn't die when you failed, because I failed and I died. So I had to came back and it respawned all these enemies, so there's going to be more on my screen than there are on yours, potentially. Let's just drop down, you'll hear some screaming, heal up, and let's just slowly and systematically work our way down the line here. Yeah, see, if you were lucky, then the normal beast patients here will all be dead already from the explosion. Nope, stop locking onto him. There we go. Alright. Ow. The reason I like to come down, just ignore those screams. They empower the beast patients around them. The reason I like coming down on this side, and don't worry about that item, is most of the enemies are on the other side of that bonfire, and as they come towards you, some of them will run into the fire and die. Or get hit. So that's why I kind of like landing on this side. But let's work our way back, keep an eye out for any stragglers. I think that's all of them. The guy screaming is right there, and there's one up above that we'll get. These guys are strangely less aggressive until you start attacking them. Now they will attack when you get close, but they act more like sirens than anything else. So then we're coming to this corner here and up the stairs. We're actually going back to the entrance that we skipped to take the ladder. And if you take a left here, in the corner is the other screamer. And on the other side of him is an item. Back out. Continue up those stairs. And when you get to the top, you're going to loop around to the left for one more screamer. And then there's another beast patient right there. And this is the main reason we took that ladder entrance, because here's the main entrance, but there's that walkway that had the hooded beast patient that we killed first. He'll ambush you if you come the normal way. Alright, so did anybody drop anything? Nope. And there's an item back where that screamer was, so let's get that. And then back out. And there's actually, if you go the normal way and immediately turn left and drop down, behind you is another drop down and an item. And then we gotta climb up to the top one more time, so come out, drop down one, go to the other side, back up the ladder, or stairs, then back up the ladder. One more item for us to get. And again, If you so choose, you can feel free to skip all of this. You can simply take that ladder entrance, kill the beast that's up on the rafters, drop down that flaming barrel, drop down to the ground, kill the stragglers, and then be on your way. And then we'll drop down again. Come back out here, and now we're going to get that item on the other side of the jumping rafter trick. Whatever you want to call it. Slowly walk back out on here again, and this time we're just going to drop off to the left. Be careful though, because it's not a whole lot of space for you to land. If you want, you can kind of back up a little bit, and then drop off to the left where there's plenty of space. You don't want to overshoot it right here and land on the other side and then you fall to your death. But here is some Molotovs, and now we can drop down and then drop down. Fall damage is a lot less in this game than it is in Dark Souls, so don't worry too much about it. Now we can finally get that item on the altar here, which is a level 1 ritual blood. That's used for something known as Chalice Dungeons, which we will discuss way at the end of this walkthrough. Come out past the altar, and on the left is an item surrounded by several crows. I think it's like 4, or no, 5. Looks like 5. Oh no, I think it's 6. Just take them out one at a time if I can. Again, it might be helpful to not even bother with the lock-on until you get down to like the last 2. There we go. And now we can get this. Run back the other way past the chapel exit. All the way to the end, and there will be an item and a shortcut. In here is a big ladder. That leads to a previously locked door. And now we're right back in that courtyard where we fought the hunter, and there's the ladder back up to the chapel. We're just opening that just in case. Come back down. Back out, and back the way you came, and almost immediately on your left is the path forward. So come through here, and before I go too far I need to talk, because if we take a left and go straight to the back corner on the left-hand side of this little courtyard, there is another scurrying nightmare that I'm going to make a beeline to, because he's going to quickly disappear. However, there are 3 beast patients waiting for us in the smoke, so you have to be quite quick with it, because they're going to start barreling down on you this minute they see you. The torch helps with this a little bit, but I'll show you. Come out through, and then all the way back to the corner. You can already see him starting to move. And immediately start striking him. And then immediately turn around. Again, this is a case of you don't necessarily have to go about killing that scurrying beast if you miss it. If you do miss it, I suggest not immediately going back to try to reset the area. There's a even quicker shortcut that we will be unlocking shortly. So if you did miss this scurrying beast and you want to come back for it, I suggest waiting. I'll show you where the next shortcut is. And that would be a much easier way to go back to Hunter's Dream and then come back and then sprint down here and try again. And the shortcut would lead to this area right here, which is much closer to the scurrying nightmare, so it makes it even easier. So I'll show you where that is. But for now, come down here. Through here. You got 2 scourge beasts patrolling on the left, so we'll take care of them in a minute. If you pull one of them, go ahead and take care of it. Try not to pull both, though. Straight ahead is a dead end with an item. Now let's come back. Is there an item on the left here? No. Yeah, see, there's 2. That's why you really don't want to pull both. Although I think I might have done so already. Ow. Ow. I would like to not die, please. Oh, that was close. That was very risky on my part. Alright. Try to do that a little more skillful than I just did. I was just mashing buttons. I should have been dashing away. I thought that first strike would miss me from just backing up. Okay, and now we can come back out and take care of this guy. Let me do it right this time. I like to dodge past him and approach him from the backside. And if you're lucky, if you've been following along pretty perfectly with what I've been doing, you should be strong enough to kill him in one volley. If not, though, again, just take like 3 to 4 hits and then back away. In the corner here, though, is another item. Some pungent blood cocktails. Which some people argue is very good for the next upcoming boss. That's why they're sitting there, actually. I tend not to use them. I think there's better strategies. So we're just gonna sell those. Alright. So come down this way, which is left from where we first entered this area. Now we're gonna take another left. And if you look up, you can actually see, yep, there he is moving. There's another Scourge Beast. Just hanging on to the side of the wall there. He's waiting to ambush you when you come this way and grab that item. So what I like to do is come down this alley to trigger him, and there he fell down. And then just immediately turn around and start wailing on him before he has a chance to get you. Then come back for the item, which I think is, yeah, useless beast blood pellets. That's again for a specific type of build that we're not going to be doing. So we're just going to sell them. Come back down and get ready for an explosion as a Scourge Beast jumps out of that door. Again, you can take care of him real quick. Loot him if he drops anything, which I think they always do. And then we're going to go through the door he came from to get another item. And then through this archway, immediately on your left, is another beast patient. And then we're going to go up these stairs. So on the second, like, kind of level area, on the left is a door, and on the right is another beast patient. Whereas on the left is another item. Come back out and continue up the stairs. Go past that gate for right now, because there's another item up at the very top. Then go back, and now we're going to unlock this gate, which is actually that very, very first locked gate from the very beginning when we killed that scurrying nightmare and then dropped down to get the hunter torch and then drop down again. Well, we're back. We're back at the beginning. And this is the shortcut I mentioned that would make getting that other scurrying nightmare much easier if you failed. Because this leads straight back to that portion of Old Yharnam. So you can just use this to reset, which is actually what I'm going to be doing. Because we are very close to the boss, so I'm going to go ahead and level up, upgrade weapons, etc. And then when we come back, we'll take on the blood-starved beast. Back at Hunter's Dream, sometimes this will happen. The doll likes to fall asleep. But before we talk to her... Ooh, actually, let's do it this way. I'm going to take that torch off so I don't have to hear that annoying noise. Let's sell some stuff. What do we want to sell? You can sell all your beast blood pellets. We're never going to use those. You can sell all your pungent blood cocktails. But you want to keep everything else. Don't sell your bold hunter's marks or your bone marrow ash just yet. Definitely don't sell any of these. They're going to seem useless for the longest time. They're just going to be sitting in here. But we will use them eventually, and you don't want to have to go find them again if you sold them, even though they are worth quite a bit. Same for the bloodstone shards. It's going to look like we have a ton, but just save them. And save all your weapons, because if you sell anything, you have to go back and get it for the trophy. We can sell some armor though. So we've got the armor from that black hole trap area, which is actually roughly the exact same. You notice slight differences here as the original hunter garb, just with an extra top hat, and we got the charred hunter stuff. I prefer the original hunter garb, so you can go ahead and sell all of this. Now you can keep all your armor if you want. I've highlighted at the bottom of that Google Doc guide in the description the armors that are best for each scenario, in my opinion. Now, I like to stick to specific sets, so I'm sure you can do a little bit more min-maxing if you mix and match some of the armor. But I've just highlighted the specific sets. And so, I'm gonna sell this hunter garb that I'm not wearing and the top hat. We'll come back and sell some of these blood gemstones here in a second, but you can go ahead and sell the blood tinge one you found past that big hooded beast. Because we're never going to use blood tinge, nothing there. Then we can actually, now that we got that bloody messenger bandage, come over and there's people in that tree stump that you can give accessories to. This is how you customize your messengers. This is especially nice if you do online and you leave messages to people. Now we're playing offline, so all it is going to affect the messengers around the lanterns. But still, it's kind of fun. But that right there is why I told you. Feel free to skip that item if you don't want to have to make that crazy jump. I always like to check to see if anything got added here, because I can never remember what triggers the different inventories to get updated. Alright, now we can fortify anything. So we don't have any twin bloodstone shards yet. But we do have plenty of regular ones, which means we can upgrade the flame sprayer. This is going to be a weapon that's very useful in the next 2 boss fights. So what I like to do is go ahead and upgrade this as much as possible. Which, if you've been following along again, it takes 16 regular bloodstone shards to upgrade it to the next tier, shall we call it. So you should have enough. So upgrade the flame sprayer, let's fortify the saw cleaver. Is there anything? What I like to do is just kind of scroll through and see if anything causes a blue number to show up instead of a red one, because then that means it's an upgrade. See? So we've got, yep, that one seems to be the best, so let's replace that. And now what you can do is you can sell any of the blood gemstones you didn't use, that you're not using. I like to keep them though, because we're going to get a few more weapons that we're going to use. There's 2 more in fact. And so I like to have a little bit of a backstock saved up so that when I level up the new weapons, I immediately have some blood gems that I can just throw right in there, rather than having to wait to find them. So I'm going to save them up until I start getting like way too many. Once I get to like 20 or 30, I'll start selling them, because then it just gets annoying. Then I'm going to pop all my cold blood dew. And talk to the sleepy doll.
What is...
So let's channel our blood echoes. Let's see, where am I at on my guide here? We are level 24, which is right here. So I need to do an arcane, a vitality, and an arcane. Yep. So let's do that.
Farewell, good mate.
And then we're good to go. So let's head back to Old Yharnam. And see there, my messengers have their new head bandage. Alright, and with that, we've done almost everything in Old Yharnam. There's a few more items and then the boss to take on, which we will do next time. So until then, stay safe.